Lords of the Rings is one of those franchises that I'm sure many of you grew up on. It's one of the most popular fantasy series, and its story has had a lasting legacy on millions of people over the last 80 years. People young and old bond over its story and the mysteries it created. It solidified a lot of fun memories for so many people. Now imagine all of that being completely stepped on and squandered by the DEI agenda. It looks like 2024 is one of those years where every beloved franchise is being targeted for the guillotine as studios continue to search for their new modern audience. For those who don't know, an unfortunate new installment into the Lord of the Rings franchise is being shoveled out by another woke studio. It's already looking like the game isn't going to do so great. Like so many other games over the last couple weeks, it's looking like the DEI is invading Middle-earth and spewing out another game that nobody is going to buy. At least this time, though, the fans of the franchise aren't going to just lay down and allow this to happen. The teaser for Tales of the Shire was just released, and the overwhelming negative response has completely halted the development studio from releasing the game. Tales of the Shire is the next modern installment of a Lords of the Rings game being developed by Weta Workshop. Weta Workshop describes their day-to-day business as doing cool stuff, and I gotta admit, it does look impressive, the range of talent the company must have, as they also produce specialty suits, sculptures, and video effects for movies such as Avatar: The Way of Water. So the design studio seems to work on a massive mix of intense creative projects and blockbuster movie effects, but then they made the remarkable decision to dip their toes into creating a Lord of the Rings game. Unexpected move from the company. And this isn't just any kind of Lord of the Rings game. Nope, there's no fighting orcs or fighting dragons, there's no castles or caves to explore, none of that boring stuff. They'll toss those expectations right out the window. Instead, you're going to be sitting your sweet tush inside of a hobbit hole, cooking the food you forage as well as trading with other hobbits to make more food. All of the goals in this game seem to revolve around food. Here's the game's full description from the Tales of the Shire website. Create your own hobbit as you set forth in Bywater. Though not yet established as an official village in Hobbiton, play a big part in helping the quaint town flourish. Greet comfort at the door as you decorate your own hobbit hole, tend to the garden, fish at the clear ponds, forage wild fruits and herbs, or trade with townsfolks. Prepare homemade meals to share with fellow hobbits and foster relationships. With much to see and lots more to eat, enjoy days of splendor in the picturesque forests, lakes, and pastures. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a whole lot of nothing to me. That last line, with much to see and lots to eat, basically sums up what I think so far. I can see this game as being a cooking simulator with the ability to jerk your turkey wherever you want in the world. Oh, and don't forget, we have to slap the Lords of the Ring IP on this thing. Let's be honest, this is a total money milker cash grab with absolute zero care for the series, and I think that the most the developers are doing for the game is praying that the masses will consume it. This is how you trample over a beloved fantasy story. You reduce it down to mundane tasks. The game's website even states that the little things are what matters in Tales of the Shire. Imagine an open-world survival game where you don't have to fight or even try to survive. You just need to farm and cook for hours on end. This game also seems like it's just struggling to have an identity. You have an entire world of spectacular characters and creatures you could explore, but instead of that, you'll just chill inside of your hobbit hole. What was the actual point of slapping Lords of the Rings on it? They released the first trailers of the game a couple months ago, and it seemed to resonate with a lot of older folks and fans of games like Animal Crossing. But as new information was just released, more people began to suspect that the game had some ulterior motives. In this brand new teaser, you'll be able to see the direction this game is going in.
We love hobbits, and with Tales of the Shire, we want to immerse you in their world.
We just really want Tales of the Shire to feel like a warm hug.
It's aiming for diverse characters while not actually using any diverse characters. These aren't even hobbits for starters. Many have already pointed out that the characters in the game are basically dwarves since they don't have any of the characteristics of a Tolkien hobbit. In the game, you have to forge friendships, which translates to talking about your feelings and building a safe space. Don't worry about Sauron. He can't touch you while you're making your friends and talking about the next meal you want to cook. And when this teaser was released, many fans came forward, absolutely dunking on the game. The responses were overwhelmingly critical of the game, with one person ripping into the game saying, "Dear Lord, this looks terrible. The whole development team should be arrested for the murder of an IP." Another response went even harder on the design of the game, saying, "This looks like early 2000s shovelware. Whoever greenlit this should resign." And I personally agree that this game looks like a janky, overloaded, cheap game. They must have developed it with an out-of-date game engine because this isn't a game that can even meet modern standards, let alone a modern audience. The insane backlash for the game has been out of control. The developers have even started blocking negative replies on Twitter from the amount of hate they were getting flooded with. And this is something that just continued to add more fuel to the fire as more people started getting angry at the blatant censorship for the game. The developers were getting absolutely thrashed for this teaser, so maybe the suits in charge decided to take over to fix the situation or something, but they decided that they wanted to delay the game's release entirely. Now, Tales of the Shire is going to release sometime in 2025. No confirmation on the date, but the official announcement reads, "All of us here at Weta Workshop are excited to have you join us in the Shire, a peaceful corner of J.R.R. Tolkien's world. When a new hobbit steps into Bywater for the very first time, we want that moment to be everything you're hoping for." So it seems like all of the responses have reached the people in charge of the game, and they are looking into fixing what they might think is wrong. Of course, we all know what's really wrong with the game. They're trying to push the DEI agenda in games over actually developing something meaningful. They want to repackage and resell your favorite stories with their own modern twist. It doesn't feel like this game is being made for any person in particular. So if you're looking for new ways to spite your enemies, you should start telling them their favorite franchises are going to get a modern audience reboot. Well, that's it for today's video. If you guys have any opinions on the topics discussed, please leave them in the comments below. I appreciate you guys for making it to the end of the video, and as always, have a good one.